Alright everyone, welcome back to Twin J Racing and frame repair video. As you can see, we had to repair some of the body mount holes. They had rotted out around where the bushing goes, and we cut them out, cut a washer down to fit inside, and then welded it back to repair what had rotted away and give us a nice hole to mount the body bushing in and make everything nice and true. And we needed to get this done before we went to the next step, which is going to be sandblasting the frame. We sandblast the frame, get it all done up nice. You can see my wife moving the frame around and stuff because, well, I was at work and she had to help take care of it. So that's what happened there. She got it done, she got it sandblasted, and then we start painting it with a black rust sealer preventative paint. I use KBS chemicals. I can't remember what the actual name of it is, but it's a rust preventative like POR 15 or whatever else everybody else uses. And then from there we started assembling the frame, got the motor and trans put back in it, got the rear end put back in it, got everything put back together. You'll see the exhaust, see everything basically go back together. This was happening while the floors and everything were getting done, so that way we can ultimately mate everything together all at the same time and be ready. I apologize, this hopefully will be like the last set with a lot of pictures and not so much videos, because at this point in time I really still wasn't taking a lot of videos, and a lot of the videos you do see were actually for the people who own the car. I just edit them down to try to make them fit into this YouTube thing. So once again, thanks, and we'll go back to videos from here. Have a good one, everyone. She's a roller. Got the rear end put in. Shocks are mounted. Still got to tighten the bolts that hold the control arms in. Got the springs in, which there was a lot of chosen words, but they're still not as bad as my wife's car, because my wife's hearse, they literally took that bracket, took that spring bracket, cut it, moved it down 2 inches in the frame, and then remounted it. So basically what that does is make a stock spring have more tension to carry more weight. But the choice words that were used to install the springs in her car are far beyond, and the sketchy stuff that was done to make it happen. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But we're getting off topic here. Look at that pretty new brake hose. You know, since we decided that one was probably the original one from '69. Put a new brake hose on it. And that's all hooked in. I mean, it's got to be bled, but it's hooked in. Like I said, we got to tighten the bolts on that. Nice pretty new clip. So that's done. And then we got some stuff to finish up here in the front and figure out what plans are. I want to get that done before we put the two together. Power steering pump. Got to decide if I want to take all of that apart and put that, clean that pump up and put that pump in. It works. A little known fact. I mean, it's out there if you look, but this is a metric pump. All you have to do is take that bushing out of that pump, which is the valve relief. Take that bushing out, put it in here, and then it works with the standard hoses. It's literally something so simple most people don't know. But that's a dual pulley, which we need to make that belt all work and make all of that done. And then I have to pull the pitman arm off of your old steering box and clean it up because it's nasty, and I refuse to put it on like that. So got to get that done, and then we'll get the pitman arm put on. I got the new seal right here for that. Put the seal on it. Then I got to get the rag joint slid on, pull the bolt, slide the rag joint on. It's just a lot of little things to finish up. And then I got to get the fuel lines mounted, pull the pulleys, clean them, paint them, get that all put back on, and just get it done. So, well, last night when I said things escalated quickly, I wasn't kidding. There's the brackets for the power steering pump. There's the pulley for the power steering pump. Sorry. There's another bracket for the power steering pump.
power steering pump is sitting over here. Like I said, I'm going to clean that up and paint that. But I'm going to send all the other stuff off, have it sandblasted. I'm going to get that bracket and then the alternator bracket there, because that one's got the adjustable stop, which yours isn't set up for. We're not running that. I don't like that. So we'll run your bracket once we get that all apart. And then the pulleys off, get it all sandblasted and cleaned up. You saw yesterday in the video, I cleaned up last night. And the nut and the washer, I'm going to get that all painted here. I'm going to put the first coat on here in a couple of minutes and just work on getting it done so I can get that all put together. Got to get that apart, and then we'll work towards getting this underneath the other car. I want to get the dry shaft in, but after looking at it, it's like, yeah, I probably should paint that too, being that, well, everything else looks like new, so, or looks good anyways. It never ends, the details, and then I got to get the lines hung. Don't know where we're going to end up today, but,
well, miracles do happen. Cleaned up probably a year's worth off the floor. I don't think it's been swept since we've started this project or separated it. So there's a year's worth of dirt, dust, crap, everything else. I got to shovel it up yet. Haven't made it that far, but we got it cleaned out. We got the floor gone. We're making progress on working on getting these two together. Here we have the caulking gun I had to go buy to fit the tube of seam sealer I bought from Eastwood Company, which I did not realize would not fit in a regular caulking gun. And I looked on Eastwood's website after I got home and found this out and realized I was not spending $50 they wanted for one of theirs. So I was able to go to Menards and find this one for $30, which, I mean, it's a nice caulking gun, but come on, guys. Is it really worth all of that? But we had to get it to make it work, and we'll continue on with what I think about this seam sealer. This is I'm not as happy as I thought I was going to be, because I let them talk me into something. Well, I won't say talk me into. I asked the advice of the people at Eastwood Company what they would use to seam seal, what's the best. They're like, this is the best stuff ever, best stuff since sliced bread. Okay, so I believed them. Now they sell. I didn't know that I wasn't going to like this stuff. It's self-leveling, which is cool. You know, you squirt it out in a nice bead. I kind of wish I would have videoed it, but put it out in a nice bead, and it levels itself out to a nice level with the tape, but it won't fill the hole. And then, like, going vertical, it's self-leveling, so it oozes down. And both corners. Yeah. It'll be sealed. I do like it because it creeps down into the crevices, but it doesn't give you a nice bead on top. And like I said, it creeps down. I can't fill the hole there, which I need to fill. That's factory. That's the way the floorboard was made. I'm just going to seam seal it, which is fine, but I'm going to have to get a different seam sealer. Same issue over there. Got a lot of stuff sealed there, but I'm still not 100% happy with it. Across here, got a nice bead across there. And then I started up into the corner because I did this side. I came over and I did this side, and that I was running out on the second tube already. So definitely doesn't go as far as I wanted to. I'm going to have to go get some more tubes, but I am not buying any more stuff like this. Like I said, I listened to them, not happy with the outcome. I can see where it would be nice, and maybe if I was more experienced with it, it may have came out nicer. I'm not 100% sure. I did the best I could. I watched some videos last night on how to use it, and the guys, you know, of course, there were Eastwood guys. Oh, this stuff's great. Jury's still out. Well, jury's not still out. I'm not happy with it. I'm going to go here locally. I guess O'Reilly's has got a pretty good selection. And I'm going to go find me some seam sealer I like, pick up a couple of tubes, go back over some of this. I'm going to let this tack up overnight. Go back over some of this. I want to get the inside. finished up so we can get this thing painted. Do the inside and then do the outside. I have a can of brushable seam sealer also, but I have an intended use, and then you can use it to fill in stuff. I want to go over where I built my patch per se. You know, I want to kind of go over some of this. Someday I'll learn how to use my phone. Want to go over some of this roughness and kind of make it a little better. I'm not so much worried on the top side here. Carpet's going to cover it, but I do want to seal it. But on the bottom side, I want to kind of clean it up and make it look a little nicer and kind of use it like use seam sealer as kind of like a Bondo, kind of make it look better, fill in the cracks. You know, that's my intention. I still got to drill them screw holes. But anyways, I've rambled enough. You guys can see it's in there. It's definitely in there, just not what I was expecting. And once I saw it starting to run down there, and I tried not to do it as bad on this side, but it was just as bad. So, anyways, see ya. All right, well, we went and got new seam sealer today, which I like a lot better. It's got different properties than the other. It's not self-leveling. It'll actually fill in. I brushed a lot of this to thicken it out and make sure everything was nice and coated, including all the way around the patch I put in. That was pretty good after yesterday, but I could actually run beads up and into crevices, fill the top of the holes and the gaps there in the new floor pan. I did that on the other side too, but I'm not going to twist around. But this new seam sealer, it's a lot better. So I can actually say now, I'm done. It's seam sealed. Still got to drill the holes, which I'll probably forget about 10 more times, but still got to drill the holes. But everything, every crack, every crevice has been brushed over or seam sealed into. Should be nice and watertight up here now. Now we got to do the bottom side. Oh well, we'll get it. One step at a time. Alright, since I'm standing up now instead of being turned around, it's hard to believe how much crap you can collect in the car while you're working on it in just a few short hours. But, like I said in the last video, it's seam sealed. It's all going to get painted, so it don't matter that it's that blue epoxy. And then the black paintable, which is already starting to set up. I pulled the tape. It's good. We're done. I'm not doing any more seam sealing inside the car. Now underneath, we got a lot more to go. But I'm going to work on that here for a little bit tonight and then finish it tomorrow. But that's where we're at. We're making progress. Just I'm aggravated with just everything else like this car. All right, I put a little seam sealer. Basically, I wanted to use the last of the tube into the crack where the floor pan goes. A little bit on each side, but that's where I ran out. But I'm going to do some brush seam sealer over all the welds and then kind of clean this up a little bit, make me a little happier with it. Just fill that gap in with some seam sealer that's welded, but it's the way it fitted. Like we know, I have way too much time trying to fit that patch. I'm going to try to use the seam sealer as kind of like a filler, make it look a little cleaner. We're just going to keep working at it, and then so get all the seam sealer. That'll be probably tomorrow's project. I also need to get that toolbox out and make room for my new welding cart, which I don't think I've talked about, but that was my Christmas present. But got to get that over there. So that's another project tomorrow. But now I am. Yeah, we got to get all that sealed up. All that sealed up. I mean, you can see where that blue run through, so you know it's nice and sealed in there. But still, I was very unhappy with the blue. You know, we need to... This isn't too bad. Maybe put a little seam sealer there and kind of seal that edge up where I did some work there. Just a lot of little things. But we're going to get there. I promise. We're in the home stretch. I can see the finish line. It's still probably 50 miles down, but we're getting closer. Well, here we go again. Pulled the tape. Fairly happy with the outcome. I'm going to have to do a little cleaning. But overall, I'm happy with the outcome. Is it perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? No. As the owner of this car has told me more than once, there's never going to be a mirror underneath of it. So, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm overall happy with it. We did some cleanup, or I'm going to have to do some cleanup. I pulled the tape. Those are your like drain holes. That's your big drain hole. So you don't seal them up. But I want to make sure all the welds are good and sealed. That's sealed up. I got to take a knife tomorrow when this fully dries, and because when I pulled the tape, it made some of those and a little bit of there. But overall, I didn't pull the outside tape. But we're getting there. We just got to let it dry up tonight. And then a little cleanup with the knife tomorrow. That stuff cuts like butter. It ain't like that blue crap that you got to have a freaking chisel. So I got some of that blue crap stuck to my floor. I'm going to have to chisel off. But that's my problem, not yours. Anyways, quick update. I did pull the tape. And should be good to go.